Hello, I'm Heather.
And I'm Ryan.
Welcome to the podcast. It's game night, it's sibling rivalry, it's a walk down memory lane, but most importantly, it's politics free.
Guaranteed.
Welcome to round 4 of Pando. Here's how it works. We have a set of cards. On each one is written 3 personal questions. For example, one card asks, "What is my favorite vegetable? Do my feelings get hurt often? And can I dive?" First, I'll ask Ryan 3 questions pertaining to me, and he'll have to answer each one correctly, earning 1 point per correct answer and a bonus point for getting all 3 correct. Then we'll switch it around, and it'll be my turn. Whoever scores the most points wins the ever-coveted Gloating Rights Trophy.
Until we play again.
Excellent. For the record, I do not have a favorite vegetable. My feelings do not get hurt often, and it really depends on what you mean by dive. What about you, Ryan?
Oh, what is my favorite vegetable? Ooh, what is my favorite vegetable? Undecided, because I like vegetables.
Ew. Go on.
Do my feelings get hurt often? Not as much as they used to. And can I dive? Sure, I can dive. I'm not like a pro, but I can dive. I can't swan dive. I would love to be able to swan dive, but I know that would end in a belly flop. So I've never attempted it. Heather, there was this swimming hole that I used to go to out in the boonies. I don't know if you ever went there. I don't think you did, but it was this really beautiful swimming hole. And there's this canyon of sorts where like one side is about 10 feet above the water and the other side's like 15 feet above the water. And then there's this big tree that you climb up, and there's a rickety old platform at the top that probably puts you at about maybe, I want to say 20-ish feet above the water. And I went up there, and it took me about 20 minutes before I was able to pencil dive, like feet first, straight into the water. It took me forever. But I watched this guy swan dive off of that thing, and I was like, I will kill myself if I do that. Not trying it. Not ever.
Good call. I was going to say, the last time I actually dove into a body of water was maybe 20 years ago. So I could dive then. I am so out of shape now. I don't know if I could. I just don't know if I could. So
I mean, I think you
maybe.
could. It's not hard. It's like riding a bicycle.
Yeah. Well, that said, once again, the game we are playing is called Pando. That's Pando. It was created by Pando and is available at playpando.com. Link in the show notes. They are not a sponsor. Ryan, are you ready for your first card?
I am ready.
Excellent. Current running score, Ryan 15, Heather 18. First question. Do I believe in Bigfoot?
Yes.
I don't think that I do, bro. I don't think I believe in Bigfoot.
I seem to recall, and I believe it's on a recording, you flipped me shit for not being sure if I believed in Bigfoot. Oh, no, wait, maybe that was the other way around.
I believe it was the other way around.
I think it was.
I think what happened was you believe in Bigfoot.
I believe that it's possible that Bigfoot exists. I don't believe all the videos that I see.
I believe it's possible that Bigfoot exists, but
so
I don't
you believe that he exists. Okay, so I get a point.
Okay.
If you believe that it's possible, I get a point.
I also believe it's possible we can go to Mars. I don't think there's people living there right now.
That's not the same thing as believing that we can get to Mars.
I feel like it's the same thing.
It's not.
Okay.
That it's possible to get to Mars.
No. Okay, here's a better comparison.
It's possible, but are there currently people on Mars? No.
Here's a better comparison. I believe in ghosts. Absolutely. I have no doubt in my mind that ghosts exist.
Sure.
I believe, could Bigfoot exist? I mean, kind of, yeah, but I have never encountered anything that makes me jump 100% on that bandwagon.
Okay, so hear me out, okay?
Okay.
All right. If you took Google Maps and you selected just a random point on just the United States alone, just a random point on the United States, and you zoomed all the way in, chances are it's in the middle of nowhere.
Right.
There's less populated areas than there are populated areas. There is so much unexplored land in the entire world that, I mean, it's just like the ocean. Like, it's so bloody deep. We don't know what's down there. There could be all kinds of crap down there that we don't know about. Bigfoot could very possibly be alive and well in the middle of nowhere, and we wouldn't know it.
Ryan, I'm going to give you a point even though I have
Thank
my
you.
doubts. You're welcome. I did not realize you were going to launch into the trying to convince me that Bigfoot exists speech, but thank you for that.
You're welcome.
Another thought that I have on this is they are constantly discovering new species that we never knew existed.
Exactly.
I see these typically, which does not really support the Bigfoot theory. They're very small, like insects or tiny frogs that are in, but as you said, they're in really densely forested or like jungle type areas where human beings don't typically go ever.
Right.
So you might have a point there. Next question. Do I dunk my cookies in milk?
I think it depends on your mood. I don't think you do it every time, most of the time, or some of the time. Depends on your mood.
The answer is never. I never dunk my cookies in milk. I do not like doing it.
Hell is wrong with you?
Coffee. I dunk my cookies right in some hot coffee. I'm down with that.
Is there milk in the coffee?
No, it's
Is there
heavy cream. You still don't get a point.
So there's cream in the coffee. So you
cream is not milk.
You do. Cream is absolutely milk.
Cream is not milk.
You dunk your cookies in creamed coffee. That is the same as dunking it in milk.
It is absolutely not, because coffee is hot and milk is cold, and that is the big difference. No point for you. What is the longest road trip I've ever taken? I think you know the answer to this.
I don't think I know the answer to this, but I'm just going to say from Portland to LA.
From Los Angeles to Western New York, where I live now.
I get 2 points.
It's like, I am not giving you a point for the cookies one. I'm not giving you a point.
There is cream in your coffee. Okay, whatever.
You know what? Time out. If you're listening to this right now, email me, thepoliticsfreepodcast@outlook.com, or send me a message on Instagram @thepoliticsfreepodcast. Do you think Ryan should get a point for this? I dunk my cookies in hot coffee with some cream in it, but never in cold milk. And the question is, do I dunk my cookies in milk? Let us know. And Ryan, if the people give you the point, I will retroactively give you the point, but I'm not giving it to you right now. Not in the game. No, sir.
Help me out, people. Help me. Help me.
All right, let's hit my first card.
Okay. Heather, what is my favorite movie genre?
I want to say action. Is it a combination of several different genres? Like, is it like a action thriller type situation, or with some comedy in there too?
It's so hard to say. Like, yes, action is one of my favorite genres. So yes, I will give it to you. Yes, because it is one of my favorite genres.
I'll take that. When I saw that question, I thought to myself, like, if I was asking that to you, I would not know what my answer was either. There's a lot of good. It's more the movie than the genre, isn't it?
Yeah.
If it's a good movie, it doesn't matter what genre it's in. You just love it.
All right, Heather.
All right.
Over the last 12 months, how many times have I gone camping?
Well, I know my answer for this is absolutely 0.
But what's my answer?
Your answer is also 0.
God damn it, I hate you.
Although I think you'd be more likely to go camping with me. I just don't see it in... Do any of your family members like going camping? The girls? Or Rebecca?
The last time I went camping was 16 years ago.
Oh.
And Rebecca was very pregnant with Sophie. And
Interesting.
It was a terrible experience. So we have not gone camping since. We have attempted to camp in the backyard with the kids.
Okay.
And at the slightest little in the backyard, all three of them were out of the tent and in the house.
You're just out there by yourself. You're like, I'll do my own bonfire, even though it's against the rules. Whatever. I put the bonfire. I'm going to roast my own marshmallows.
I did attempt to just camp that night because I wanted to go camping. But I was so lonely, I was like, I guess I'll go back inside.
Oh, man.
We are going to attempt to go camping, hopefully for Rebecca's birthday, because we want to go out into the middle of nowhere where there's very little light pollution to be able to do some stargazing.
Okay, well, if you do, pro tip, bring your bear mace and your serial killer mace with you, and you'll be okay.
Hell yeah. Well, my serial killer mace
is your karate chop moves.
Is my karate chop moves. All right.
All righty.
And do I use pore strips to remove blackheads on my nose?
I think the answer here, I'm kind of torn because I think you might, but also you've got pretty good skin, so I'm going to go with no.
I do. Not often, but I do.
Oh, I knew I should have answered yes on that. So now I am going to read you your next 3 questions. Are you ready?
Okay, yes.
Name something I am allergic to.
I don't think you're allergic to anything. But
correct.
Oh, sweet.
Oh.
Okay, cool.
Just leave it at that. Don't even keep talking. Am I good at hitting on people?
Absolutely not.
Agreed. Like, not that I need this skill, being married, these 10 plus years now, but I'm just trying to put think of the past, and my game is so bad that I think that I'm hitting on someone, but they just think I'm not hitting on them. I don't know. It's you get a point. Let's stop talking about it. It's depressing. Can I say the ABCs backwards?
Yes, you can.
I can, and I will, just to prove it. Are you ready?
I'm ready.
ZYXWVUTSRQPON MLKJIHGFEDCBA. Did I miss anything?
Well done, Heather.
Thank you.
Bonus point for me.
Bonus
and
for Ryan.
Heather?
Yes.
Can I say the ABCs backwards?
Sure.
I cannot.
Oh.
I have to really think about it. Like, in my head, I'll be like ZYX, and then I'll be like ABCDFGH W.
By the way, if I find out that I messed that up, I will nix this whole segment from the episode.
Heather,
it's not going in if I screwed it up.
Heather, I will tell you did not mess it up because I pulled up the alphabet because I was ready to cheat on this one.
Nailed it.
All
All right, let's do my next 3 questions.
right, Heather. During Christmas, is there typically a fake or real tree at my house?
Fake tree.
Yes, except for, yes, typically there's a fake tree in my house. Correct.
Same here. Listen, to anybody out there that's getting mad at us about this right now, just consider that we grew up in Pine Tree Central.
And we still had fake trees.
Because after years of bringing in real trees and having the biggest mess ever from real trees dropping their pine needles everywhere, we moved to fake trees, and we just kept that in adult life.
And listening to Dad muttering to himself as he vacuums it all up. It was hilarious.
Ryan, you're asking me. Never mind. Go ahead.
Yes. Do I enjoy yard work?
I think that you do.
I do enjoy yard work.
Yes.
Heather?
Yes.
Can I do a convincing British accent?
No, not even a little bit. Absolutely not. Barf.
That is correct.
In fairness, I don't think from a British point of view, there is any American that can do a convincing British accent. I think they're very
That's true.
critical of that.
Although, I'm going to attempt this one line from Snatch. Nope, from Lock, Stock, Two Smoking Barrels.
Mm-hmm.
And the line goes, if it is what he says it is, then that's my bloody ganja.
I mean, that was okay. That was okay.
It was all right.
It was all right.
It's the only one I know.
British listeners, please email me and make Ryan feel better about that. Okay, let's move on. So, for this round, the final score is 5 for Ryan, 6 for Heather.
All right.
Heather wins the Gloating Rights trophy.
And I'm catching up.
And the overall running total score is Heather still winning, Ryan still losing. Let's continue.
What's the overall score?
I didn't want to do the math. All right, hold on. 15 plus 5. 20 for Ryan.
Uh-huh.
And 18 plus 6. 24 for Heather.
Damn it. I've fallen behind a point.
Yes, you have.
However, you still dunk your cookies in milk.
That is to be determined, and I would still be winning anyway. And I'm fairly certain we'd be a tie on the episode if you win that, which I just don't think that you do. Now, it would only be appropriate for research inspired by this week's game to get into Bigfoot. So here we go. Bigfoot, also known as Yeti, the Abominable Snowman, Sasquatch, Grassman, and other names. There is seemingly one in every culture or country around the world. This mythical beast has inspired books, movies, and TV shows. Who is he? Where did he come from? I don't know. And if people who have gone on lifelong televised quests to find Bigfoot have not done it, I'm not sure how I'm going to figure it out. But I thought it'd be fun to take a look at how this became a part of the paranormal zeitgeist. And I want to specifically talk about a particular filmed footage of the Bigfoot that kind of started it all. So, according to the History Channel, it all stems from a brief news article that was published in 1958 in the Humboldt Times, where loggers out in California had written in claiming that they found extra huge footprints. At this point in time, there was already some mythology about the abominable snowman over in the Himalayas. So I didn't really get into that part of the research. I was more looking at the because it's a big, huge thing in the U.S. right now. I don't know if it's so huge in other places. Unexpectedly, there was a huge public response to that article, and readers showed a lot of interest in it. So that's kind of the jumping point. And then the years that followed, the mythology grew with sightings and people scouring up old newspaper articles about this mysterious, quote, wild man. Now, there have been plenty of proven hoaxes regarding Bigfoot. But there's also footage that has not officially been debunked. And I don't think we can talk about that footage without talking about the footage that kind of started it all off, which was a video which came to be known as the Patterson-Gimlin footage, after the two men who had supposedly stumbled upon this female Bigfoot while they were out filming in the wilderness. Now, people who think it's a hoax point to the fact that and by the way, if you want to go, the video on YouTube that I used is from OPB, and the title of the video is The Film That Made Bigfoot a Star. Now, people who think it's a hoax will say that it looks obviously to be a person wearing a gorilla suit. Also, apparently in 2005, this guy took a lie detector test that showed no signs of deception, answering yes to a question that asked him whether or not he was the Bigfoot shown in the 1967 Patterson film.
Right.
Also, a man came forward at a certain point and claimed to have sold Patterson the suit. But here's the argument for the other side. Lie detectors are notoriously inaccurate.
Mm-hmm.
Also, there's this dude named Jeff Muldrum, who is a professor of anatomy and anthropology at Idaho State, who has studied the footage extensively, the footage specifically of the Patterson-Gimlin Bigfoot. And he says when you compare the footage to someone in a fur suit, you can see there's no real resemblance. He points out that there is obvious musculature on the beast in question.
Mm-hmm.
This dude from Finding Bigfoot I think it's on the Discovery Channel or the History Channel, whichever one has that, says that the footprints found, because I guess they took some molds of the footprints that the beast left behind, are legit. There's also this to consider. Patterson and Gimlin were a couple of amateur boxers and rodeo cowboys, and Patterson in particular, had been on a years-long quest to find evidence of Bigfoot. Right, he was super interested in that.
Mm-hmm.
So is he the one-time ever Bigfoot hunter that actually found footage of a Bigfoot? Because none of the rest of them have been able to do it.
Bigfoot is elusive.
Well, according to him, he picked that area because, which is, I forget where, somewhere in like Northern California or Southern Oregon, because there had been sightings there and because footprints had been found there.
Yeah.
So, but we need to ask, did he find the evidence or did he invent the evidence?
We need someone, next time they encounter Bigfoot, to live stream it and just head straight for Bigfoot. Run at him. Take one for the team.
Can I be honest about something? If I legit encounter Bigfoot, who's supposedly 9 feet tall or whatever.
Mm-hmm. Take one for the team.
No, run away, like not even scream. I'm just going to run as fast as I can and hope that Bigfoot doesn't run after me, because I'm pretty sure Bigfoot at 9 feet can run faster than me.
Probably. But I say you run for Bigfoot and take one for the team.
Okay, well, that's one of those we're going to have to see what happens when it happens things. So good luck with that just materializing.
Throw your phone at Bigfoot and then hide.
Or, you know what? Go somewhere where there's sightings and just you could set up a full-time camera that just runs like people like wildlife capturing cameras.
Yeah, but we have to see what happens when one runs at Bigfoot. Because only then will we know that Bigfoot is real.
And then what should I do after I run it at Bigfoot and catch Bigfoot? Should I start yanking on Bigfoot's head to see if his mask comes off? Okay.
Yes. Because if his mask comes off, he's not going to murder you. Because then he'd be like, shucks, you got me. But if his mask doesn't come off, he will kill you. And therefore, the existence of Bigfoot will have been proven.
Okay. So just so we're clear, I am alone in a forest.
Yes.
I see a 9-foot-tall Bigfoot.
Yes.
I run at Bigfoot.
Yes.
Leap 4 feet into the air.
Yes.
Which is basically me leaping almost my entire height.
Right. Yes.
Grab Bigfoot by the head.
Yes.
Yank on Bigfoot's head.
Yes.
You heard it here first, folks. Let's move on with the episode. It's time for stories inspired by today's episode. Stories today are inspired by the question, am I good at hitting on people? Reddit, what was your worst attempt at hitting on someone? Oh, by the way, send us your stories. The Politics Free Podcast at Outlook.com or message me on Instagram at The Politics Free Podcast. We'd love to hear your very lighthearted stories that have been inspired by listening to this episode. Please send them. We would love it if you would. Here we go. All right, so again, Reddit, what was your worst attempt at hitting on someone? A lot of these people didn't actually answer the question, but I like the answers, so I put them here. From Lurkalo. I met the woman who would be my eventual wife when I was about 5 years old. I literally hit her with a stick in the park that day. She ran home crying. I still hear about it. I thought that was adorable. And also one of the commenters was like, so do you still beat your wife? I thought was funny. From a deleted account, my buddy asked a waitress at Red Lobster, so, do you come here often? And got her number. Impressive. He must have been very good looking. Let's move on.
Very impressive.
Shep Daddy. Back in high school, my best friend Bob and I went to a concert at a local coffee shop one weekend. While we were there, we saw these two girls, let's call them Emily and Laura, hanging out together, and started talking to them, flirting and such. My friend has his eye on Laura, but every time he talks to her, he calls her by the wrong name, and she corrects him. B, Liz, you'll love this one. L, my name is Laura. B, oh yeah, sorry. This goes on for the next couple of hours, with different names from Bob and growing exasperation from Laura. Finally, as they're getting ready to leave, they have one final exchange. B, well, Mary, it was great to meet you. L, sigh. My name is Laura. B, I'm so sorry. The thing is, I'm much better at remembering names when they go with numbers. That bastard had been working for that line for hours, and I'll be damned if it didn't work. You gotta give him, he did the long game there, man.
Oh, jeez. I have to interrupt you for just one moment.
Uh-huh.
So I posted to Reddit, help me settle a debate. My sister says she doesn't dunk her cookies in milk, but she dunks her cookies in coffee with cream. I say she dunks her cookies in milk, and she says she doesn't. Does she dunk her cookies in milk? So far, 12 people have said yes, and 7 people have said no.
I said listeners to this podcast vote. Are any of them listeners of our podcast? Ask right now.
No, obviously, none of them listen to our podcast. I would highly doubt that they do, because we're not that famous yet. But try this one. So I posted the same question into a Facebook group called Sounds Like an Unpopular Opinion, but okay. And so far, 40% of the people have said yes, and 60% have said no.
This is going to be largely up to the listeners of this podcast who never respond to anything I ask for, so good luck with that, bro. Last pickup line story from Neon Appa. I had a friend who always used to quote how his other friend picked up his long-term girlfriend at the bar using the line, "I can't wait to disappoint you sexually." All right, last but not least, it is the question of the week. Ryan.
Does Heather dunk her cookies in milk? The answer is yes. Yes, she does.
The answer is no, I do not. Okay, I'm sorry, but it's a full glass of cold milk versus a hot coffee with some cream in it.
Which has milk content.
Dipping. That's not what the question means. See, you're trying to get all detailed with semantics. It's the spirit of the question is, do you dip it in milk? Like in the commercial where you see the Oreo cookie going into the glass of milk. And I don't do that.
There is milk content in that cup of joe. And when you dip your cookie into it, you are therefore dipping your cookie into milk.
It's people like you, the water isn't really wet people.
Okay,
that
first of all,
pick
water
things
is
apart.
wet.
See what I'm saying? Are you listening to this? Are you listening to this? This is what I'm talking about. Plus, you've just derailed the question of the week. We haven't even asked the question of the week. You asked a question that was not the question of the week. The question of the week is, what is the most recent fact you learned that surprised you?
Off the top of my head, I don't know.
Well, I learned something just today I want to share as an answer to this question.
That you do dunk your cookies in milk.
All right. Listen. Do you want to just say the cookies and milk thing real quick and get that off your chest again? And then I'll skip my answer.
Go ahead. The floor is yours. Sorry.
Now, Ryan and I are kind of true crime buffs, so I want to give this a little intro for people that might not be familiar with that. One of the most famous books in the true crime genre is called In Cold Blood, written by Truman Capote. He is very famous for having written this book, which is about these two guys that committed brutal murders. What I didn't know, and what I discovered by accident today as I was scanning the shelves of library books, is that Truman Capote also wrote Breakfast at Tiffany's.
Oh.
I was floored by that. Those are not in the same genre, even a little bit. Are you looking up how to say Capote?
I was keeping an eye on my polls.
All right. Now listen. Thank you so much for listening and putting up with Ryan throughout that episode and all of his ridiculous bullshit. Please share the podcast if you love it and have been enjoying it. Simply tell somebody about it so that they will listen to it. And Ryan, do you want to update everybody on the polls before we say goodbye?
There's no change.
So far, Heather's winning.
I am winning.
Until we play.
Play again.
Again.
I had it this time. And you derailed me, Heather. You derailed me.